What's up guys, and welcome back to Software Distributions, and today we're talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Season 4 and its latest updates. Now yes, every time Call of Duty releases a new update in this game in general, when a new update comes out or a new season comes out, they intend to fuck up their game. So for a lot of people out there, there's games running like absolute dog shit. Now I'm here to help you out as best I can when it comes to these issues where your game's running like dog shit and anything to do with that type of vibes where your game isn't running really well or you're doing bad FPS. This is for all users out there. It doesn't matter what machine you are running. I'm here to help you as best I can. All you're gonna need to do is follow my guidelines and you should be good to go. Alright, let's jump straight into this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first thing I highly recommend you go ahead and do is, and if you haven't done this already, please go ahead and do it right now at this very moment. You're going to click on your file explorer like this, and then go to Documents, and then go to Call of Duty, go to Players, and then go to this file over here that says options4.cod23. Right click on it, you could say Open, or say Open With, and say Notepad. So any editing software, and then say use this as an always program, so you always use this program, and click on OK, and you're going to open this up. Now, the config file plays the most important role in this game itself. It physically really does. And the rest of the settings that I'm about to show you and tweaks that you're going to need to do on your computer plays a very big role to make your game perform much better and just in overall have a better experience with Call of Duty. Because a fuck ton of people out there are having very bad gameplay experience where there's like stuttering, packet burst, packet loss. The FPS is like dog shit. Now, I can help you with that. All you're going to need to do is follow my guideline from the beginning to the end of my video and you should be good to go, and I can promise you this. All right, now first thing is these two right here, but the very most important one is this over here, is the render work account. This can actually boost your FPS by 40 to 50 to 60%, and it can actually make your game run much smoother and much better. Now it's going to depend on what you put inside here. Now I'm going to make an example for you guys why I put 8 inside here, and this is for newer generation CPUs or older generation CPUs. It doesn't matter which CPU you have, if you have a Ryzen or if you have an Intel. I'll have a thing on my screen right now that's going to have the most common used CPUs from Ryzen and the most common used CPUs from Intel that is being used right now to play this game at this very moment. And all you're going to need to do is copy that number at the end of the CPU itself and put it inside here. Now I'm going to make an example for you guys when it comes to newer generation Intel CPUs. This is for all people out there. This is how you see what CPU you are running. Right click on your taskbar at the bottom of here and go to Task Manager and then go to Performance and then click on your CPU and it will tell you what CPU you're currently running. This is an i7-14700K. It's got total cores of 20 and total threads of 28. Now, its performance cores is 8. And that's why I put 8 inside here, because Call of Duty actually prefers the performance cores, but Call of Duty prefers with newer CPUs from Intel, its performance cores. So you're going to put your performance cores inside here, and I highly recommend whatever your performance cores number is, you're going to put inside there. Mine is 8, and that's why I put it inside there, okay? It makes my game run much smoother and much better, all right? So I highly recommend just go ahead and copy out of all of these. Go check what yours is. You can just Google what CPU you have. It's very easy to do. As long as you know what CPU you have over here, then you are good to go. You can just go and Google it and see what you have. Now, lower generation from Intel CPUs, if it's a lower gen, then obviously it won't have performance cores and efficient cores and stuff like that. It will just have total cores and total threads. What you're going to need to do with Intel is actually then put your total cores inside there. The same like Ryzen. Ryzen is total cores. There is no such thing as performance cores and stuff like that. But it's very specific when it comes to Ryzen. But like I said, I have something on screen that you can just copy and relate to. Basically, just Google your CPU and find out what number you should be putting inside here, and you should be good to go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the first steps that I highly recommend you go ahead and do. The next step is this over here. I highly recommend that you have this like this. So it is on 80% VRAM target scale inside your game. So in the config file, it will say 0.800000, right? Now, there was a thing back in the day, like in season 2, season 3, there around, that you can copy this number over here, literally just right click and then copy and then put it inside here, and it will double your VRAM of your graphics card. Now I highly recommend that you don't do this because it actually bugs the game out, because it makes Call of Duty think that you have double the VRAM of your graphics card. So let's say that I have a 12 gig graphics card, which I do, it will think that I have a 24 gig graphics card, but then the game starts fucking out and the game has problems. So I highly recommend just leaving it at 80 over here. It will automatically change in the config file to 80 if you put it on 80 inside the game with a target VRAM scale. I'll show you that when I get into the game settings. This is where you should get your sweet spot. Now, for lower generation graphics cards, I highly recommend you change that 8 to a 6 like this. For lower generation graphics cards. So if you got something like, I don't know, like a 10 series graphics card all the way to a 20 series, I highly recommend you put a 6 there. So it's 60, not 80. Now, please go ahead and check these out as well. Please make sure that you're on the latest graphics card driver for Nvidia and for AMD. It will actually tell you inside here what driver you are currently using. So it will say your version of last display driver used to run the game. Mine is 555.99, which is the latest graphics card drivers. Please go ahead and make sure that you have the latest graphics card drivers installed on your machine. Now, something I want to point out is this over here, and I'm just going to open this up and just show this to you guys. This is obviously Nvidia. If you have an AMD graphics card, you know what to do there. All right, now as you can see here, this is the latest graphics card driver right now at this very moment, which is 555.99. It is the latest graphics card driver. Now, I highly recommend you keep up to date with the latest graphics card drivers, and please go ahead and keep them up to date. Be on the latest driver. Now, for a lot of people out there, it literally tells you in the config file what is recommended to run Call of Duty at its best with what driver as well. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to download this driver. You can download any driver between 537 all the way up to 555.99 and choose which one runs best for you. You can figure that out by trial and error, but I highly recommend just running the latest driver. If your machine runs perfectly fine on the latest driver, use the latest driver. But I do know a lot of people struggle with having the latest graphics card driver installed on their machine, and the game then starts running like dog shit. Then they roll one driver back or two drivers back, and then the game starts running better. Now, that is a common known factor in this game, and that's just how Call of Duty is. Unfortunately, Call of Duty's developers don't give a fuck about you, me, or the community, so we have to figure these things out ourselves, and that's why I'm here to help as best I can. Now, there's a lot of other things that you can change inside here, like blood count and stuff like that. I don't change them. There's no need to do so. I highly don't recommend you do that because it can actually fuck with your game, and it can fuck with your machine. So I don't really recommend doing it, because you can completely break Call of Duty and then it won't launch. You do not want to have that problem, okay? Being on the latest graphics card drivers, and then these two over here. Just these two, you should be good to go, and I can promise you, your game will run much, much better. I can promise you that right now, this very moment. All right, at the square block here at the top here, you'll see that's the current numbers, the current CPUs that I thought of that people are running. Use that number, put it inside there, and then all you're going to need to do is go to the file over here and then say save, and you should be good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this over here. You're going to come to the start button over here and come to settings, and you're going to come inside here and then come to gaming and then go to game mode and make sure that your game mode is turned on right now for season 4. Please go ahead and turn it on. From here, you're going to go to graphics settings and have hardware accelerated GPU scheduling turned on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are using a 40 series graphics card from Nvidia, if you don't have this on, you don't have the option for frame generation. Now, that's why the reason why I say you should put this on, because it actually increases your graphics card's potential and how it runs. So it doesn't matter what GPU you run, please go ahead and have hardware accelerated GPU scheduling turned on right now for season 4, and you should be good to go. From here, you're going to go to the home button, and then from here, you're going to go to privacy. From here, you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and then come to where it says background apps. And if you're on Windows 10 like me, you're just going to turn it from on to off. And then all these programs won't run in the background while you are playing Call of Duty. I highly recommend you turn all background apps off, and you don't need them to run, because if they run in the background, it's going to use resources like your RAM, your CPU, and basically your GPU's VRAM as well. And it can also use your, let's say your drive, you have an SSD, you have a hard drive, you have an M.2, it doesn't matter. It reads and write speeds are being used through your computer. So make sure that the background apps are turned the fuck off, turn them the fuck off, turn them the fuck off, and thank you, and done. All right, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this over here, and it plays a very big role on your machine, a very, very big role on your machine. Is come to the search button over here and type in CMD, and then right click on this. Please don't just left click, because if you left click, it's going to say C users and then your name for your PC. It's wrong. You have to do it like this: CMD, and then right click on it, say run as administrator, say yes to the command prompt, and then it will look like this, ladies and gentlemen, where it says C Windows System 32. Then all you're going to need to do is type in this SFC spacebar / scan now, one word just like that, and press enter. Now once you press enter, it's going to scan through your entire machine to find out if you have corrupt files on your machine and on your drive and in your games and all that kind of nonsense, and it will actually fix it, automatically fix it for you, which is pretty cool. And it's a pretty cool command prompt that you can use to make sure that your computer is running perfectly fine and then there's nothing wrong with it. This can actually fix issues for you that are literally issues running in the background of your machine that you don't even know about, and Windows will automatically fix it for you. So this is a very important step for you guys to take. Please go ahead and do this. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is just right click on your desktop and then open up Nvidia control panel if you are an Nvidia user like me, and you're going to open up Nvidia control panel like this. Now I'm going to open it up nice and big, and you can see what I'm going to do inside here. Now, adjust image settings with preview. You're going to come inside here and make sure that it says use the advanced 3D image settings and click on take me there, and it's basically just going to take you to manage 3D settings, and it's going to be inside here. I know there's a lot of people that prefer me explaining it, and then I got a lot of people that don't like me explaining it because they feel that the video is too long because I'm explaining too much shit. And yeah, because a lot of people don't know what the fuck's going on inside here, so that's why I explain it. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the point. Anyways, copy mine as is and you'll be good to go. I can tell you that right now. One thing that I would recommend, let's go over the one thing that I would change. If you have a lower end graphics card, go with high performance. If you have a mid-tier graphics card, go with performance. And then if you have a good enough graphics card that's a powerhouse basically, go with quality over here and you should be good to go. All right, from here, you're just going to apply these settings and you should be good to go. It should flash a couple of times and then there you go. From here, config surrounded physics and make sure that you have your graphics card selected, not auto select, not CPU, your dedicated graphics card, and then say apply from here. From here, you're going to come to adjust desktop color settings and come inside here. Have your brightness at 50%, which is a default, and then 65, which is not its default, but leave it at 65. It's a sweet spot for all gaming out there. Your gamma at its defaults, and then your digital vibrance will actually go black and white. If you do this on your side of your Nvidia, you'll see on your side, if you put it at 0, it will go black and white. Now, if you put it at 50, which is Windows's default, it looks washed out. Now, this is your own personal preference on where you're going to put this. You can put it at 75, you can put it at 80, you can put it at 65. Wherever you want this, you can find your own sweet spot. My sweet spot for this is 95, and this is how I play my game. Now, just bear in mind, if you play this at 95, like I'm playing it now, at 95 like this, I'm going to apply it. Bear in mind that this can actually fuck up your eyes and give you headaches because there's a lot of digital vibrance happening, meaning grass are greener, enemies are, I don't know, if they're pink, when you mark them, they're much more pink. So everything's more strong with color, right? So if you don't have 6/6 vision and you're wearing glasses and stuff like that, I don't recommend 95. Slow this down, go to like 65, maybe max 70, or the max I would go with bad eyesight is 75, and you should be good to go. All right, let's jump straight into the game. Let me show you the best settings you can use right now at this very moment for Season 4. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the game right now, and we are in the display tab. Now, something I just want to mention is this for Season 4, and it's just been there for Season 1, 2, 3, just in general. Like, it doesn't really matter which one you use here, but it does depend on what type of machine you're running, like what type of setup you're running. So basically, if you have multiple monitors, I highly recommend using full screen borderless. It's actually the best for multiple monitor setups. And then full screen exclusive is for people out there that has one monitor or one display or one display unit, basically like a laptop, or just one display with their gaming machine. All right. Now, a lot of people also use full screen extended window to get more FPS out of the game, and it is a thing that you can go ahead and use. If you're using a low-end gaming graphics card, I highly recommend using this, or you could use the windowed mode. I know a lot of people that do use these options just in general to get more FPS out of the game if they know they got a budget gaming graphics card. Now, for people out there that's running mid-tier to high-end gaming graphics cards, I highly recommend that you go with full screen exclusive when it goes to one screen and you only have one screen, one dedicated screen, and you have multiple screens. I go with full screen borderless. This is my personal preference. You can do what you want to do here, but this is my personal preference, and this is my advice to you when it comes to Season 4. All right, let's jump straight to the next step. That's very important. All right, so the next step is this one over here, aspect ratio. A lot of people don't understand this. If you look very carefully on the right-hand side over here, it actually shows you how huge your screen should be for these type of things, all right? Now, I play my game at 16:9, okay? And this is the best for me, and I highly recommend using 16:9. So wide 16:9. It's actually really, really good. But if you're one of the people out there that has ultra wide screens, or you don't know what you should be using in general, you don't really know exactly what you should be using, and you may be new to the setting, then you could just go to automatic, and Call of Duty will automatically sync with the screen that you're currently using, and you should be good to go. I just want to go over this just so that you guys know about this. All right, I use wide 16:9. It's my own personal preference. All right, this one over here, we'll come to this just now. Don't click on this at all. We're only going to click on this later onwards. All right, display gamma, please go ahead and change this to 2.2 if you're running a display or a monitor. If you're running a gaming monitor that has like G-Sync and FreeSync and stuff like that, it can actually help you if you put this at 2.4. It can, but I would still recommend going with 2.2, even if you have a gaming monitor. My own personal preference to you guys, just to let you know what you should be using, go with 2.2 over here. I use 2.4 because I actually have a very expensive gaming TV. It's not really a gaming TV, but it's an expensive TV, and I play on it, and it's just in general, it's smooth as fuck. So this is why I use 2.4. Okay, everyone asks me why do I use 2.4. I play on a 55-inch 4K Samsung Smart TV, and it fucking runs amazing. Anyways, so this is why I use 2.4. But for you guys out there that's running monitors, 2.2, please go ahead and select it. Do not copy this setting by me. All right, from here, we're going to go to brightness. Please change your brightness from 50% to 55 or 60. Nothing higher than 60, because then the game looks washed out. Please don't do that. Constant mouse to game window. This is if you have multiple monitors like me. I have one on my left and right hand side. So if you apply this, you can't get off this main screen. All right. Then when you put it off and you disable it, you can get off of the screen. Now I'm on my left screen, and when I go over, I go to my right screen. Right. So own personal preference, but don't worry, this is just in the menus and when you may be in the lobby. But when you're playing the game, you can't physically get your mouse off the screen while you are playing. So don't worry about it. You can just switch it off if you want to. I have mine off as personal preference. Over here, as you can see, it says Nvidia Reflex Low Latency. Mine is currently locked because I'm using Nvidia DLSS frame generation because I have a 4070 Super, and I use Nvidia DLSS frame generation, and it actually makes my game run really, really well. A lot of people have different opinions on it, but I'll give you my own personal opinion. It runs really well with my machine. I have a 14700K DDR5 memory running at 6000 megahertz, and then I have a 4070 Super and an M.2 that reads at 7 gigs a second. Now, with all those components combined, I run my game really well with Nvidia DLSS frame generation on, and then I'll show you my quality settings that I use with my specific machine. But I'm going to go over for every single person out there, low end to medium end to high end to super high end machines. Right, now, if you are on this option right now and yours is not locked because you don't have a 40 series card, you maybe have a 30 series, 20 series, or something lower than that, I highly recommend that you read what it says on the right hand side here. Right, so off, on, or on plus boost. Okay, so on plus boost is basically if you CPU bound, and then on is if you GPU bound. Okay, so you literally just need to read what this says over here, and it can be the opposite way around. It literally can be the opposite way around. A lot of people have really good CPUs with shitty GPUs, and then a lot of people go all out with their GPUs and have shitty CPUs yet again. So it's a debate on which you're gonna put on here. So it's your own personal preference on which one you're gonna put on here. But for now, at this very moment, to be honest with you, on plus boost is the best setting you can use in Season 4. Even if you got a really high-end GPU and a low-end CPU, or a high-end CPU and a low-end GPU, go with on plus boost. Still go with on plus boost. Go with this one over here, go with this one over here, and you should be good to go. If you don't have a 40 series card and this isn't locked and you don't use frame generation, or you have a 40 series card and you don't use frame generation, go with on plus boost over here and you should be good to go. We're going to come down and we're going to come to eco mode preset, put this at custom. Then this, I highly recommend just put it off completely. This is only if you have screen tearing, if you have shit happening like that. I highly recommend turning it then on. Then obviously you're going to just turn it on to 100%. I don't get screen tearing in my game. Mine's naturally off, and it's off over here as well. I don't get screen tearing in my menus, so I turn it off. Custom frame rate limit, ladies and gentlemen, is something I'm not really going to get into. I'm just going to say that I put mine on unlimited, and this is how I play my game. Because a lot of people have their own personal preference on this. They go to custom, and then they put it like in a certain way over here. You know, like maybe, I don't know, they have a 240 hertz monitor over here, so they put this at 240. Or they have a 240, like I said, maybe a 350 hertz monitor, then yeah, put it to the highest it can go to. If you have a 144 hertz monitor, then put it at 144, like that. If you have a 120 hertz monitor, then you put it at 120, like that. Then you're going to drop this to about 60, and you're going to drop this one to about 30. Normal, right? So that's going to depend on the hertz of your monitor while you are playing your game. So if you've got 60, you hit 60. If you have 120, you hit 120. If you have 144, you hit 144. If you have 200, you hit 200. If you have anything higher than that, you go 300, and then that's the highest you can go to. So 360 hertz, all that shit, and you go 300 here. So I'm not going to go in depth with this. This is your own personal preference. Everyone has their own personal preference when it comes to this with the custom. That's why I don't use it. I don't really bother with this that much because my GPU is not going to die because I'm selecting unlimited and I'm doing unlimited frames all the time. Yeah, I do a lot of overclocking when it comes to my CPU, when it comes to my RAM, when it comes to my GPU and stuff like that. And I actually don't give a fuck about this option. I leave this unlimited all the time, and it's always been an unlimited. Since Call of Duty came out, it's always been an unlimited, and none of my components ever died. My 2060 OC that I used to own before my 4070 Super that I have now, my friend actually owns that card right now. I gave it to him, and he's running this game unlimited as well. And that card is a 2060 OC. It's an old card, but it's not dead. It won't die. It physically won't die just because you put this on unlimited. Please don't let people tell you that you're going to kill your GPU if you put this on unlimited. Because once you put this on unlimited, your GPU is not going to jump out the case and run out the front door, and then you need to chase it, and you're going to be like, why are you running away from me? And then he's going to turn around and be like, yo, no, you're putting me on unlimited. No, that's not a thing. Don't let people put that into your fucking head. Honestly. But if you want to safe play it, you can go ahead and go to custom and fucking do your own thing over there. But yet again, unlimited. I don't give a fuck. I run my game like this. Always and always will. Alright. Menu render resolution, native. Pause, game rendering, off. Focus mode is kind of cool if you have multiple screens. So 100% and you apply it, then both your screens go off. My two screens on my right and left hand side just went completely black right now. So put it at 0%, then I can see on both my screens. Obviously, I want to be able to see on both my screens. So why the fuck would I use this? I don't know why this is an option, to be honest. I guess it's a nice feature for COD to enable things for you not to turn your monitors off by getting up and turning them off. I guess Call of Duty knows that people are lazy, but they're just as lazy because they smoke a lot of crack in general, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing with their updates, because it's just skins and skins and skins and money schemes because you just need to buy battle passes and this and that and this, and they don't fix their fucking game. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to become a rant and rave. Let's get over this. Let's jump straight into the quality tab. Right, from here we're going to go to the quality tab like this, and now we are going to do this. Alright, I play my game with Nvidia DLSS, okay? Then I have frame generation on, okay? Then I have this at 80%, and I have this at quality and at 50% with my current rig that I'm running. 14700K, I have a 4070 Super, and this is how I run my game. It runs perfectly fine like this, okay? This option over here, please don't turn it on. It actually makes the game run way fucking worse. I'm not going to lie to you. It makes the game run like dog shit. Yeah, sometimes you'll do really good FPS, but there's moments in the game where it feels like you're stuttering, and you don't want that. No one in this game, in this community, wants their game to feel like it's stuttering. So turn this the fuck off. If you don't want stuttering in your game, turn it off, okay? Don't turn this on. Right, let's go over the rest of the steps over here. Nvidia DLSS, okay, that's what I use. Everyone has their own personal preference, okay. Now, a lot of people prefer this one over here, the Intel upscaling. It's a really good upscaling. I used to use this with my 2060 OC, and then I would have this either at balance or at quality, and it would run really, really well. Just don't put this at performance. You're going to tear out your own fucking eyes because the game's going to look like dog shit. Please don't do that, okay? If you can, if your GPU can handle ultra quality, you can go ahead and do that, but I wouldn't recommend it. What I would recommend is either quality or balance when it comes to this upscaling over here. And still 80% here, still 80% here. Don't worry about this. This is for 40 series cards. Don't worry about this option. Keep this at 80 if you have that over there. Okay. And then obviously, like I said, either balance or quality, and then you can go and do that. All right. Now, Nvidia DLAA, I'll always skip over this option because it's actually a really shitty option when it comes to Call of Duty. No one uses it. I don't know a person that uses this option. No one uses this upscaling at all. Like fucking no one. All right. Nvidia image scaling. I know a lot of people that use this over here. They go with native. It's either native, quality, or balance. Okay. You can go ultra quality if your GPU can handle it. If you know you got a decent enough GPU, go with ultra quality. But native pushes out the native resolution of your monitor, and then just you can choose your own personal sharpness of the NVIDIA image scaling at native at the resolution of your monitor, right? This is what NVIDIA image scaling can do for you. Now, AMD FSR 1.0, I don't recommend this, but I recommend it to very low-end GPU users. You can go ahead and select this, then go to balanced over here, and you should be good to go, all right? Then, something I want to mention is, change this from 80 to 65, like that, and press enter. You can type it in there and press enter, okay? You should be good to go when it comes to a lower generation graphics card. But if you want a little bit more quality out of your game, and you still have a low-end gaming graphics card in general from AMD or Nvidia, just because it says AMD doesn't mean you need an AMD card. You can run this with Nvidia cards as well. All right, AMD FSR 3.0 is the best one you can use right now at this very moment. You can either have this at balance or at quality, or you can have it at native yet again. Native will do the render resolution of your screen, of your monitor that you're currently running, okay? Now, I would recommend native or quality or balance. Please don't select performance. Please don't select ultra performance. Your game's going to look like absolute dog shit. Go to balance, then it will balance out the quality and your performance at the same time, so you can have an equal balance game. Or you can go to quality, so you can do a slight little bit less FPS, but your game looks really good. Or you can go to native and run native resolution, what your screen can push out. So 1080p, 1440p, 4K, whatever the case might be, 2K, whatever the case might be, okay? Native, if you want to go native, okay? Then this, I highly recommend pushing this up yet again. You're going to push this up to 75, either 75, or you're going to hit 80. One of those two. When you do use AMD FSR 3.0, okay, please go ahead and do this, ladies and gentlemen. Please go ahead and do this. All right. From here, you can go to Fidelity FX Cache. A lot of people still use this. This is your own personal preference when it comes to the strength of Fidelity FX Cache. I know a lot of people that runs really high-end GPUs that still uses Fidelity FX Cache. Why? It's because it's a favored upscaling and sharpening in the game, because it makes the game look really sharp and you can see your enemies much, much easier if you want to play competitively. Now, a lot of competitive players actually use Fidelity FX Cache. I use Nvidia DLSS, and I'm still competitive at my own times. I'm not that competitive anymore, not that much. I just do, like, tweaks on the game and stuff like that. I jump into the game to do tweaks. I don't really grind and sit here with a towel and wipe my fucking sweat off from fucking sweating in rank lobbies. But I know a lot of people out there that is watching my video right now does play rank play and stuff like that. So if you want a good rank gameplay, go with Fidelity FX Cache. It makes the game really sharp, makes it much easier to play, and gives you more FPS in general, and it makes the game run really, really well. Not going to lie to you, it makes it run really, really well. You can run at 80% over here, or yet again, you can run it at 65, and you should be good to go, and your game will run perfectly fine. Now, something I want to mention is this over here. If you're going to go with, let's say, for instance, NVIDIA image scaling, and you have it at native, or whatever option you have here, please come down over here, and then have this at normal, okay, and then this one at normal as well. You can either put it at low or at normal when you have NVIDIA image scaling, okay? When you have AMD FSR 1.0, I highly recommend you come down here and then go to low here, and then this one over here, normal. That's how this will look for AMD FSR 1.0. And then for 3.0, I would recommend you put this at normal and that at normal when you run AMD FSR 3.0. When you're running a mid-tier to high-end graphics card, if you know you got a high-end, you go to here and you go normal, and then this one at high. If you've got a high-end GPU. Lower end, you go back to normal over here, normal, and then AMD FSR 3.0, and you should be good to go. Now, when you come to Fidelity FX Cache, when it comes to Fidelity FX Cache, I highly recommend leaving it at normal and leaving it at normal, and you should be good to go. All right, that is the settings I would recommend for you guys, and this is the settings that I'm using. Like I said before, I use this over here like that. That's how I use my game, and then I have this at 80% like this. Press enter, and then I have frame generation on. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I had a lot of people ask me, yo, dude, don't you get like input latency and like stuttering in the game when you use frame generation? I don't see it at all. I physically don't, and I test this game a lot, like a fuck ton. Holy shit, I tested it a lot. I don't see any like stuttering and stuff like that. If you're experiencing that, that might be your machine. Like I said, if you guys want a optimization through me, myself, go email me and I can help you out through Discord. I do charge a fee, like I said, but I can help you out as best I can. Anyways, let's go down with this. Depth of field off. I don't know who plays with this, but yet again, it's your own personal preference. If you play with depth of field, it's a multiplayer game. Why the fuck would you have it on in the first place? But yet again, it's your own personal preference. All right. Detail quality level low. Please put this at low. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm running a 4070 Super. I can run this game at everything on the best settings and I would still do really high FPS. But I want competitive settings and I want the best FPS. So this is for everyone out there. You can have a low-end gaming graphics card, to medium, to high-end, to the highest end. Still run this. It's competitive settings. Go with low here. Particle resolution, very low. Bullet impacts, you can put this on because then you can actually see where the wall was shot at, or if the wall was shot at, or whatever the case might be. It doesn't affect FPS. It doesn't affect your CPU, or your RAM, or your GPU. Turn it the fuck on. All right. This over here, the effects, turn it off. You don't need to see the effects in the game. You really don't. Shader quality is something that a lot of people has mentioned in my comments, and they were like, yo, dude, shouldn't this be on high? No, it should not. Put this at low because the thing is about this, what I want to explain is, do you want to see that there's a crane here and then it's reflecting on the water? Or would you have no water? And yes, there's still a crane there, but it's not reflecting. So there's no reflections happening in the water and stuff like that. You don't really need to see that. If you're a competitive player and all you want to do is run around and kill people and also have more FPS, then put this at low. Don't put this to medium or high. Leave it at low and you should be fucking good to go. Let's common fucking knowledge. Just turn it the fuck down. Because you really don't even need this option. To be honest, they could have just deleted this option. You don't need it, okay? You really don't. I know a lot of people that has really high-end GPUs that don't use it. I have a 4070 Super and I don't use it. I don't because there's no point in it. All right. On-demand text streaming, turn it the fuck off, turn it the fuck off, and turn it the fuck off, and done. All right. Local text streaming quality. This is something I would recommend people put on normal if you're running a 30 series, like a 3070 and higher. Any card between a 3070 and higher. Please don't put this at normal if you're running a 10 series or a 20 series. Please don't do that. Then you put that at low. If you're running anything lower than a 3070, put it at low. If you're running anything higher than that, go to normal and you'll be good to go. All right. Shadow and lighting plays a very big role on this game's FPS and how the game performs. Okay. Now, my game, you saw how my game looks when I started this video. You saw how the game looks, how the map looks, how everything looks. It looks perfectly fine. And I have all of these settings over here. Shadow and lighting just eats FPS and does nothing in the game. Yeah, it slightly does a little bit of detail, but you don't need to see it. Okay, so shadow quality, very low. Screen space shadows off. Ambient occlusion off, always off. Leave it the fuck off and done. That's for single player actually, because then you can put this at both if you're playing single player. But right now we're playing Warzone, so please leave it the fuck off. Screen space reflections off, okay? Static reflection quality, low. Tessellation, off, always off. Leave it the fuck off and done. Volumetric quality, low. Physics quality, don't need to see the physics, low. Weather grid volumes, this you go to off, and then your water quality as well. Turn it the fuck off. You do not need to see the water caustics or the wave wetness. Like honestly, are you gonna jump out of the plane and go land by the water and then watch the scenery, or are you gonna jump out the plane and go fuck people up? What are you gonna be doing in COD? You are not jumping out to watch the scenery, so turn this the fuck off and get it over and done with, all right? And then you apply these settings from here. Then we're going to go to the view tab. Now, the view tab is your own personal preference, but something I highly recommend you go ahead and do is take advantage of this over here. Inverted flash. A lot of people don't take advantage of this. And then there's another one, which is this one over here. Take advantage of this as well. Put your film grain to 0.00 so your game actually looks a little bit better and it doesn't look like pixelated. Like you have a, I don't know, 1976 fucking TV. I don't know. Just put it at 0.00, please. You do not want your game to look like you're playing it on a calculator, so leave it at 0.00. Put it all the way down, okay? And you should be good to go. Inverted flash, take advantage of it, okay? So your screen goes black instead of white. It's really nice on the eyes, especially when you get flashbanged and your screen goes completely black because you can hear the flashbang go off. And no, it's not going to look like your game crashed. I've seen people say, don't put this on because you're going to think your game's crashing. Bullshit. You're going to hear a flashbang go off and then your screen's going to go black and then it will come back to normal again. And yet again, it's not your whole screen that goes black. It's only in the middle. On the edges of the screen, you could still see. So take advantage of this, please, ladies and gentlemen. But yet again, it's your own personal preference. I can't tell you what to do in the view tab, but this plays a very big role, ladies and gentlemen. It plays a very big role in your game. Please go ahead and put this at 0.00. Right, from here, we're going to go to this over here, which says interface. We're going to come to color customization and we're going to come over here. You're going to have you as your own personal color. Choose your own personal color. Have your team and your party the same colors. Whatever color you want to choose here. Your enemy, you're going to come inside here and you can actually apply a custom color or create a custom color inside here and then choose what you want. Whatever color suits you the best. I have mine as magenta pink. Always had mine as magenta pink. And then I apply my custom color and leave it like this. All right. I'm going to come down and then you're going to have this at filter 2. You guys can go ahead and try out filter 3. That pink, that magenta pink, will turn into purple once I click on filter 3. Watch this. Now it's completely dark pink. Now, you can either choose filter 3 or filter 2. But right now, at this very moment, as your own personal preference, as a person that knows that, hey, this looks the best, go with filter 2, go with both. Go with 100%, go with 100%, and you should be good to go on the settings for Season 3. Now, the most important step you're going to need to do is this right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the most important step that you're going to need to do after applying all of these settings. Now, before you jump out of my video, listen to me, please. Listen to me. You're going to click on Restart Shader Preloading, and you're going to click on Restart. Then you're going to restart your game either through Battle.net or Steam, whatever platform you're playing it through. Then when you launch your game, at the top left corner, it's going to install your shaders. Let your shaders install. Click anywhere on your screen once. Once the shader starts installing, click anywhere on your screen just once. Anywhere on your screen, just like a click, you know, just like a click, you know, anywhere on your screen, and then leave it. Let your shaders install to 100%. Then when you start moving your mouse around, you'll see here a square block will come up on this side, and it'll say 100% complete. Then you are done, okay? Then you should be good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, if this video worked for you, smash that like button, leave a comment down below. Whoever's watching this video right to the end, to be honest with you, just leave a comment and I know that you watched this video from the beginning to the end. Leave a comment down below. Giga Chad. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this helped you. And as always, peace out.